Shop smart, shop S-smart.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the New Book. Who dis? I'm your host, DeathMetalHero, and with me is returning guest, Paul Thayer. What's going on, Paul? Welcome, man. You got the full effect of my audio this time.
Yeah, that was cool. I threw me off. Last time it was a chillax. He goes, "Hey guys, chillax pod ready to go," and goes with the heavy metal intro.
I mean, I'm DeathMetalHero, man. It's what I do. Yeah, I have my soundboard here. I was on the road the last time we did a show. So yeah, now I'm at home. This is my soundboard. Yeah, that $40 soundboard I bought off Wish like fucking 5 years ago, man. And the damn thing has held up. Like it really has. It's surprising how well this thing has held up. But yeah, so how's it going, man? It's good to see you back. Welcome.
Yes, had my last campaign in December. We fulfilled it in February, and now we are in March with a new campaign, which we'll be fulfilling in July.
Hot damn, man! You're just a machine. You just got this whole thing rolling. You got it down to a science. You know, you're on episode 6 now, but I mean, you've got more out. I was looking at the Kickstarter. You've got 11 campaigns that you've rolled through so far.
Yeah, the first one I had no idea what I was doing, and I canceled it right away, and then revamped it, and then put it back up. But so this is my 10th Kickstarter campaign. Okay. I've done 2 Indiegogos, 1 Fund My Comic. I fulfilled all of that. So now we're on our 10th Kickstarter, which is Project Analysis episode 6. Every book that we released is in the world of Project Analysis. So we have our, Project Analysis 0 to 6. We have our spinoff with 2 issues out, and then I have a one shot with one of our villains. So we have 10 books ready to roll in the trade that collects 4 of them. And we're just bombing them out. I make sure all the lines and inks are done. The lines and inks, I had 15 pages done before we fulfilled episode 5. And then as soon as I had it finished, I was like, all right, let's drop this. I had 100 pre-launch followers. Let's go. And this is a Project Analysis episode 6. You can jump on right on here. This is the origin story of our main villain, Crimson Payne. And it's also the aftermath of other things that happen. But I make sure all my stories have a beginning, middle, and end.
Right.
So you're really getting that full issue in this. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun.
That's fantastic, man. I mean, it's rare to see indie comics, and we discussed this a little bit the last episode we did, but it's rare for indie comics to be able to get this many issues out because it's all dependent upon the fan base, building that fan base and getting people invested in the characters, the world that you're building, the story that you're taking them on, the adventure. And the fact that you've got this many issues out and it's all, you have it all together, that you've built that fan base, man. People are out there and they're digging the damn book. And so we were talking backstage a little bit. You've been going to a lot of conventions. You kind of making your bread and butter at doing conventions, right? Like pressing the flesh, talking to people in person.
So I'm privileged enough that I do very well at conventions where that's how I fund all these books. So originally I had my full-time job. I ran 11 gyms. I funded my books. That's how I really funded it. And I was doing some conventions, but these last 2 years I've been all in because it was originally 2020 I released a book. 2021 I released a book. I released 2 books in 2022.
Right.
And then, we've been adding more and more. Like last year we did 3. This year we're going to do 4. So we're really getting up there. And this last 2 years I'm all in. So it's been 1 year officially that I've been doing this full time. And
that's
I do
fantastic,
a lot of conventions.
Man.
Thank you. I do San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, C2E2. I was just at WonderCon last weekend. I'm at AwesomeCon this weekend.
Yeah.
And, we try to make an impact. I got a corner table this year at San Diego Comic-Con. They gave it to me. I earned that.
Holy shit, man. Congrats.
Yeah, they gave me one. So that's an easy extra win.
Right.
And, usually I have to fight. You're walking past me in the middle of an aisle. I'm like, please. now you're at the corner. I got you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Just stop there.
Hello.
Exactly. Got to stop at the intersection and look around. And say, oh, hey, that's a cool looking booth. Let me walk over there. Exactly.
Project analysis. And
yep.
I don't know. If you see, you scroll through my Twitter, I post like I would say 60% of all the people that buy. Because some people don't want to take their picture. I wouldn't want my picture taken, but you know, some people do. And
right.
I always tell them, you're my model. You know, this is how I know. This is how everyone knows that I actually be killing it. You know, so like, let's get all these pictures going. And a lot of people have a lot of fun with it. I have my diehards that just pick up at conventions, and you know, I would say 20% is now like my diehards at every convention that like get every book when I'm in town. And then 80% is like new flesh, and new flesh is brought in by, you know, other people bringing in people to these big conventions, and your boy's here to snap them up.
Right.
And that's what I'm here to do online too. You know,
exactly.
We're at 3,400 and something. This is my biggest first day at launch. It was the most backers I ever did in the first day. And by the second day, we were already at $2,000, which is the most money we ever raised. The first, it was like 1,050 we did in 2 days on the last campaign, which was our biggest. And now we did 2,000. Out of my 108 backers, I think it's 88 are returning backers for more than 2 campaigns. So we're really pushing it. And, you know, we're just trying to get the word out. It's the most cover raise we've ever sold for this campaign. And we're just, we're rolling. You know, this is the last project for a while. I had, not for a while, but like for me a while is like the end of the year. But you know, like I have this book, I had it made, it's done. I didn't start the new issue. So this issue we're all in. And realistically, you know, we're at 3,400, but 10K is really where we want to be. If we hit 10K, I could start in episode 7 ASAP. If not, you know, you're gonna have to wait to the end of the year. So you know, because I personally fund everything, and you know, we got things to do. And I have a one shot that's going to come out soon. And then I'm working on another book as well. But yeah, we're definitely having at least 2 more releases this year from my publishing company. One's going to be a one shot of one of the characters, totally different art style, different vibe. I want to just hit a different market that I feel like is in the conventions. Like, because my books are insanity. Like they're the craziest, blood, blowing people up, fatalities, all that. We still have that vibe in the one shot I'm making, but it's definitely more mellow. You know, it's a different type of writing. I'm trying to show range, you know, just with different characters. And then, but this one is our big issue. Like, so for episode 0 is our first issue. Crimson Payne killed 90 million people and all the superheroes. You don't know why. Our last issue, he finally fought our main superheroes, and no spoilers, but you know, you can see how that one went. And now this one, we're getting the origin of our main villain. You know, we're getting right to the nit and gritty, and it's insane. Like, it's for someone to want to kill 90 million people, you know, we got to get him there, and we're gonna see how he got there. So
heck yeah. Well, I mean, everybody, you know, people like to get a supervillain origin story. You know, it's always interesting to see how and why a villain came to be. You know, why they decided to, you know, become genocidal, homicidal, you know,
why
maniacal.
did they become a grade A piece of shit? You're going to find out, you know.
Why did he suddenly renounce his humanity and decide that he was going to be the most evil person on the planet?
Yeah, and, you know, and there's different perspectives, and we're building off on that. And like I said, this is my 10th campaign. We have tons of books coming out. And, you know, I do votes on all my Kickstarters, and I even ask people in person. The number one favorite character is our villain. So
I mean, hey, look at the G.I. Joe. The villains, the Cobra, they always looked so much cooler. You know, fucking Storm Shadow, the Bat Trooper, you know, Alley Viper. I mean, they all looked cooler than the G.I. Joes. I mean, except for Snake Eyes. You know, Snake Eyes was the only cool looking G.I. Joe.
I was saying earlier, it's like 55% Crimson Payne diehards, and then the other 45%, I'd say 43% is Omega, and then the 2%, Omega's our main hero, and then the 2% is everybody else. And we have a big cast. So I try to make it full. Like, they all have beginning, middle, and ends, and like, you know, you do get major scenes. Like, everything matters in this series. And, you know, we're trying to make an impact. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at, we're gonna take a look at the campaign here real quick. But if you look at the pictures that you've posted, you are making an impact, man. The fact that you're able to do this and you've been doing this for a year as your main hustle proves that you're doing it right. But before we get any further, let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. Feline has already dropped a link for the Kickstarter in the chat there, so you guys go ahead and hit that link so you can back this book. Because if you like superhero bloody violence, you're gonna dig this book.
But, superhero sci-fi with no multiverse or do-overs.
That's right. Somebody dies, they died.
Yeah, and we make it cool. And if you don't see the full fatality, assume they're alive because it's superheroes. But if you see the death, they're fucking dead.
No dying off screen, huh? Good. I hate that shit.
Yeah, no dying off screen. Like we did it in episode 1, right? Like it was episode 1. Hellsate's the fire character. She's punching this character in the face until her face was like melting off. But she had a turn and she thought she killed the person. Now that person's back and she's cybernetic, has the cybernetic jaw. They wear the damage like an anime, like in an HBO show.
Mm-hmm.
What happens in issue 1? That damage, they're staying like that for the rest of their life. Their scars are there. The damage is there. The story's there. You know, we're constantly moving it.
Persistent world, persistent storytelling.
Yeah.
So, Skull Feline is my partner in crime. My favorite lady. Supermod extraordinaire. My favorite person to go visit. Actually, that's who I was visiting the last time we did a show. I was at her house in the guest room all set up. She says, hello, Paul. We got Tokime. What's up, dude? He says, hail to the room, chat, and panel. This is who's doing the Edgepunk magazine I was telling you about. This is who I'll be working with at HoosierCon in Indianapolis. But yeah, I'll tell you more about Edgepunk when we're done here. Shit, where's my... Anyway, digital magazine and the digital distribution service that he's got. It's a chip that flips out and you plug it in your computer and you can read a digital magazine, but it's a physical copy of it, so it can never go away. It's not on a server, so you have it forevermore as long as you have that. Let's see. Hey, we got Edwin. What's going on, man? Hail. Thank you for coming to hang out, dude. We got Mr. Michael Rushbrook. What's up, Death Metal and chat? What's going on, man? Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. All right. We are all caught up with the chat. But, yeah, so conventions, man. The reason why I brought those up, because whenever I look at the pictures on your campaign, at the bottom of your campaign page, it always makes me think that, you know, this is necessary. Like going to conventions and talking to people in person is necessary. Yes, this online stuff is cool. Being able to talk to people across the country, across the globe is really cool. But being able to talk to people in person, I think that is worth its weight in gold, because there's something different about it. Being able to, I don't know, excitement is infectious, right? So when you talk to somebody in person at a convention and you're excited about your book because you care about the world that you've created and the characters, they pick up on that excitement. It's not as easy to get that excitement across over the internet. You know, there's a disconnect. But at conventions, you know, you get that in person, and that and besides, everybody's there to be excited about comics anyway. So I mean, it's a natural environment, you know.
Yeah, everything correlates. Everything's a bubble. You know, people don't know what the fuck Kickstarter is. People don't know what Indiegogo is. People don't know what conventions are. You know, but the world knows San Diego Comic-Con. The world knows New York Comic-Con.
Yep.
You know, and I'm at both of those events. I have a big area in small press in New York on the main floor, and then I have officially a corner table, booth M09 this year at San Diego Comic-Con in small press.
Hell yeah!
And we're pressing the flesh. The first thing I ever did was a Comic-Con. That was how I sold. I only knew what Kickstarter was after, and you have to hit all the markets. Like
you do.
A great idea was I used to do video games on YouTube just for the shit of it. Mm-hmm. And I used to get a lot of views, and I probably could have monetized. I was getting like 20,000 views on some of my videos, and then I stopped, right? And I just had this YouTube channel sitting for years. And then I amped it back up and just started doing all comics, and I have like 1,400 subscribers. And out of those 1,400, just this weekend, I had 2 people come up to me and told me the only reason why they've ordered my books or knew who I was because they found my YouTube channel. And it's just like, you have to do everything. Yep. I do TikTok, I do YouTube, I do Instagram, I do LinkedIn.
Oh, you do TikTok, huh? TikTok. Yeah. This one's been trying to encourage me to try TikTok. She's a fan of TikTok.
I've sold 2 books just on that platform through the TikTok sales. I do whatnot. I do everything. You know, like you have to do everything because it's just different people. Like I said, I don't know who the fuck was looking at my YouTube. You know what I mean? Especially that a lot of it was like WWE or Borderlands related. And then now I have all these subscribers that are coming from comic books, and it's just building it up. And I'm still I get on my shorts, I get like 10,000. A couple of them getting hit big. So it's just, you just never know. You just got to keep doing it. I post, if you look on my Twitter, so I'm at WonderCon 3 days, and I at least have 200 posts from those weekends, you know, like still posting just on Twitter. And that's not talking Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm constantly on everything to try to get one more sale, you know?
Yeah, hustling.
That either comes through my website, through Kickstarter. Like even this week, I made a decent amount of money on my website, you know, and it's cool. Like that goes right into my account that day, you know. Twitter, I mean, not Twitter. The Kickstarters are great for pre-orders. You know, it's just different things. Because some people will just want to go on websites. Some people just want to go on whatnot. Some people just want to do conventions. Some people want crowdfunding. You know, so like you have to find those people because everyone has a different reason on why they buy comic books and where they buy comic books.
Right.
I'm just not in stores. I do everything direct to consumer. So.
Right. Well, I mean, this is kind of a direct to consumer era of shopping. I mean, the internet has opened that up for sure. And I mean, conventions were always a direct to consumer thing. You didn't have to, you know, worry about a corporation. You just go into a, you know, it's like a swap meet, but with a bunch of comic books and stuff. You know, you got vendors. So yeah, I you're not live. Shut up, Jason. I can see it. It says live, damn it. But I don't know, man. I would like to think that there could be an avenue to go into shops because I do know that there are still people to this day. I mean, granted, they're fairly older, but there's still people to this day that are so used to going through like a catalog and looking for things, or just going into the shop and looking at the wall and trying new comics.
If you're not going through a main publisher, there's no point of being in stores. There's no little guy doing that on their own, because I know the big guys that do, let's say, 100,000 on a Kickstarter, and they make $6,000 from selling to all the stores. You know what I mean? $6,000 is still great, but that's also hitting 100K on crowdfunding. You know what I mean? So like, it's a different market. Like if it's not through an Image or Boom or Dark Horse or Massive or Mad Cave, I would say it would be hard to do that. Like you can go local, but at the same time, you're making sense because they need to sell it. You need to sell it to them for 50% off. And that means you have to get a minimum of 2,000 to 10,000 copies to make profit on selling to these places. And I do up to 1,000 to 3,000 prints. So like, I'd rather just sell them for my full price myself, because the only way they're getting in the shops anyways is and picking this up is if they know who I am. And if they know who I am, order on my website.
Right.
You know, am I down to be in that market? 1,000%. You know, I'm trying to work every day to work for DC or Marvel, and then when I have other IP, which I am working on, I would 100,000% give it to one of those companies to pump it out there. But this particularly needs to be mine. You know, that's why it's full time. You hear everybody talking about, you know, that they don't make money is because they're not. It's you have to. You can't just be a creative. You have to be a business person. And I came from business, and I come from a love of comic books. So it's a good mix up, because the business people don't love comic books, and the comic book people usually aren't business people. And the people
that is very true. Usually comic book people are not savvy business people.
savvy business. And then the other way, it's like, okay, so why isn't, like, a great example is, wow, like, why isn't Killer Croc Batman? You know, stuff like that. Like that. Why don't we make the crocodile Batman? You know, it's things that a business person would say.
Right.
Versus Killer Croc is a, you know, C-string henchman that needs to get his ass kicked in every 10 issues.
He's so muscle. Like, he ain't brains. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, just different things like that. And, you know, this is our biggest campaign yet so far. If we hit over 150 backers,
what's up, K-pop?
And if we hit 4,500, this will be your biggest campaign ever. And I really want it.
I mean, you're getting there, man.
Yeah, I would say I have like a solid 100 people that will back right away. You know, like the 100, and there's still another 75 people that are hearting my pre-launch. I mean, hearting the Kickstarter that haven't even backed yet, and they're waiting for the last day to give me anxiety. And you know when they heart it, like you heart a campaign, oh, I'm gonna get it at the end for some reason, and then you see all those on Kickstarter, so it's good to see. And all my platforms are getting pretty big. I have a pretty big following, and a lot of mainstream people are following me, so it's they're seeing my hustle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, consistency, man. You keep doing the work, you keep putting it out there, and people keep showing up for it. You know, people notice that. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This whole comic, you know, sphere, this whole indie, like comics in general, is a very niche market. Like let's be honest. Comics is a very niche market. Indie comics is a niche market within a niche market. And crowdfunding indie comics is a niche market within a niche market within a niche market. So, you know, when you're doing something with quality and consistency, people are going to notice, people are going to talk about it, they're going to tell their friends about it, and their friends are going to tell their friends about it. Word of mouth is still the best form of advertising, especially if you're doing something of quality and something that you're, you know, proud of, something that you are happy to put out there in the world.
And I do think we're in the best time of comics. You got to think, like, everyone goes, yeah, in the 90s they sold 1 million, 2 million copies. You know, Batman Hush just did 440,000. I'm pretty sure Absolute Batman's getting close to like 600,000 now for their first print. I mean, not for their first print, for Absolute Batman 1, but they already were past 400,000. 400,000 times $5 is a lot more money than 99 cents times $1 million. So, you know, and now Battle Beast hit over 400,000. You have people like the Rippaverse doing 500,000 campaign. You know, there's a lot of things that, yes, it is that, but also at the same time, it's like, I think we're popping right now. You know what I mean? And there's people like,
there's definitely some good, man.
Like Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld has his own comic book that he just sells on Whatnot. And I watched that guy make $10,000 an hour. You know what I mean? Like, that right there just proves the importance of owning your IP and being able to just get your own shit made. I mean, that is direct to consumer as it gets. That is direct from creator to consumer. On Whatnot selling, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like you have to do it. You know, like
you got to get out there. You got to let people know that you're out there, and you got to do it consistently. Yeah. yeah. Jason does TikTok as well. He likes TikTok as well.
It's one hit, right? Like, so for example, like some of my YouTube videos, but I'm talking about other shit hit 10,000. Some of my Instagram ones hit 3,000 talking about my stuff, but the one that hits 1 million, 2 million with my website linked to that, we're balling. You know what I mean? Like we're balling, dude.
If you get like 10% of that, yeah.
You know, so it's just that one post, and I just feel like people have to see it. Like that right there, that's our interior artist who does our covers. That's
dude.
The art you see in the book, like that's the cover, but that's the same artist.
Ain't no bait and switch on this book. What you see on the cover is what you get in the book.
Yeah, and I always do that for my cover raise. So like,
I think it's a good idea. I think I mentioned that last time. I like that.
Let's even say it's lower quality, right? Let's even say the art's a lower quality. Put it as the front cover. You know, even children's books, you pick up the book, it's not the best art, but the cover's the fucking cover, you know? So it's like, you know, we gotta normalize that, you know?
I agree. Interior artists should do the main cover, and then if you want to do variant covers on top of that, that's fine.
sick, and those are the hits. You know, then it's like, okay, then I should be able to charge this for $20. You know, versus like the best rated comic book, the cheapest one you have should be the guy who's doing the cover, so you sell what you're doing. There's never been a movie poster that shows a picture of Anakin Skywalker, and in the movie it's Chewbacca. You know what I mean? Like it's what's on the cover. You know, so
yeah. Jason says TikTok has all the cat videos.
It's all about your algorithm. So if you see cat videos, it's because you love cats. If you see violence, it's because you love violence, you know? So and if you love comics, see comics. But yeah, these are interior pages from the book without lettering.
Is it great?
This starts from page like 14. So we're going to see Crimson Payne's origin. And that's him pre-armored up. And when we go to the pages from the last issue spoiler, it'll show who Crimson Payne really is. But these are pages from the book, and where you find out why he becomes the number one villain in my universe. And he clearly looks happy here, and you've never seen any emotion from this character for all these issues. You just see him ripping people in half and just murdering everything in his path, so without hesitation. And when he's talking shit because he likes playing with his food, and he wins still, you know. So
something turned this this normal, you know, superhero into a sadistic, you know, not right in the head killing machine.
Possibly superhero, possibly something. There's something that happens because we've teased it. So I'll basically say the tease. Like, so Project Nous is supposed to be a super enhanced classified unit to kill Crimson Payne and his rebellion. That's Crimson Payne before these things happen. Right. And throughout the book, you get teased that Crimson Payne was actually in the same unit prior. So now this team is seeing, wait, we're fighting someone that was us, but he's the evil guy, but he is evil. He killed 90 million people. And now we're going to find out why. And we're finding this out why, because there's someone that gets captured in one of the previous books that they've been interrogating to get information. And now they're going to interrogate him and find the origin. And this is what we've been building up to. This was supposed to be at the end of the series. I wasn't really even going to show a lot of these scenes, but you can't be, you know, you can't hold on to dear life to your stuff. You got to do what's best for the story. And this is what's best for the story. And, you know, Robert Kirkman did it with Omni-Man, and I'm doing it now with Crimson Payne.
Yeah. You gotta be honest with the story. You gotta tell the truth when telling the story. Yes, you're crafting fiction
now, especially the people, because I only did my first 2 years. I only did one book a year because like I was doing my full-time thing, and then this last 2 years I've been going in. So, you know, and this last year was really this whole year was like my full year doing this.
Right.
And, you know, people that have been with me from the beginning, you know, known Crimson Payne for 5 years. You know, we sold that first issue, we sold over 3,000 copies. So
that's awesome, man. Love hearing that. Yeah.
And same with Omega. We sold a couple 3,000 of those too. And then and we've been building, and we sell a lot of trades. We sold a couple thousand of these bad boys too throughout all the conventions.
I bet. I mean, listen, people love being able to pick up a book that has a nice spine like that. It looks good on the shelf. It's easy to pick up. It's easy to take with you, and you get a bunch of story. I used to explain to people it's like binging like 5 episodes of a Netflix series or something like that, just in one of those books.
My volume 1 is like, set the stage. Okay, cool characters, cool powers. This is what's going on. Volume 2 is building out the world now and tying everything together for episode 7, which would be the final issue in volume 2, which would be the end of our season. But like I said, I didn't even start. Like last time I was on here, I was like, hey, I got episode 6 halfway done. I have no pages done in the next book because I have other projects I'm working on.
Right.
And like I said, the only way we really get there fast is if, you know, first checkpoint is getting that 5K. We hit that 5K, like 3K is my goal. You're guaranteed your book's no problem. But hitting 5K, I can start working on stuff, and hitting 10K, you know, I can get a book out pretty quick. So it just matters on what we're doing. But I'm investing a lot into a lot of these conventions. A lot of these tables, you know, cost like $1,500. So it's like,
it's a serious investment to go to a convention.
I got to double it, triple it, and then it's like, you know,
our boy Michael Rushbrook here. He was at Heroes Con last year. I think he's going to be there again this year. But yeah, he's been doing. I've seen pictures of him hitting the convention circuit as well. So I mean, it's a serious investment, and I'm glad to hear that you get such a good turnout at the bigger shows, because sometimes the bigger shows can be a lot harder. Because I mean, it's a big show. There's a lot of noise there. The barrier of entry is a lot lower than it used to be. To make this stuff. There's a lot more out there, but the cream always rises to the top, man.
Everyone always gives up. I'm standing the whole time, taking no breaks, saying hello to everyone, doing my 20-second pitch. They either buy or don't buy. I can have 100 people tell me no, but I'll get the next 30. And after that second no from somebody else, you see them give up. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I was successful in sales and other businesses, because you have to, like, the reason why people fail at big conventions is because they give up. You can't stop. Like, it just has to be a thing, and you have to be effective with your pitch. Like, right. I tell you everything you need to know, and I even say it. I say, give me 15 seconds, I tell people. And I tell them in 15 seconds, they either buy it or they take a flyer. They buy it or they walk away. Not right. Me. And I do that, and I almost don't have a voice right now, and I did that all weekend. WonderCon 60,000.
It's being a carnival barker, man. You have to be a carnival barker. You gotta talk to people. You gotta engage. You gotta encourage them to come over here. Absolutely.
Check it out, and if you like it, you like. You don't. You can't be sad when people don't like it, because not everything's for everyone.
That's true. But I mean, the beauty of a convention like that is there's always.
Look at Crimson Payne. Like, he's painting murals with their blood after he just brutally murdered all of them. Like, he's clearly, and he has like the blood tear coming down. He's going through some shit.
Yeah, he's clearly got a sense of humor here still,
and the blood coming down his eye as he's crying, like he's a fucking psychopath. And I love it, like, that people love him so much. Like, the diehards only post about Crimson Payne. That's the only post I see. It's like, let's go, like, have him kill more people. And I'm like, even with Omega has a scene where the heroes are like, there's the news, and they're like, hey, like, I know these are superheroes and they're doing the right thing, because people know that this Project Analysis team exists. And the next scene is like what they're actually doing, and they're like removing one of their prisoners' hands during interrogation. Like it's shit. Next level. Like, but when I did that, I wanted to show you, like, hey, this guy is not my main hero. He's kind of fucked up, but this is war, and everyone's like,
right.
Awesome. He should have took off his legs. And I'm like, what? I was like, that is not the reaction I wanted, but go for it, dude. Let's go. It's fucking battle time.
Not quite the reaction I was looking for, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. Thank you.
Yeah. They're like, do more. I'm like, holy shit, we're ready. Because we're building up, like I tell people, funny. It's like superhero sci-fi, think of like X-Men meets Invincible for everyone that's like new to the comic realm. And then realistically, it's like, superhero sci-fi, like in its own realm, but like I tell people that, and it's really building up to similar, I would say, to like a G.I. Joe thing, of course, with superpowers, in a sense of like, there's multiple factions that are growing. There's multiple factions that are growing, and we're building up to a fucking war, so like, I want to make the craziest thing, because episode 0, 80 million died. There's 3 superhero fight scenes. Our last issue, the shit got real fucking crazy, that I don't want to spoil, because everyone should get episode 5. It's my best book. And then now episode 6 is like, we got to always move up a little bit,
right? Got to up the ante.
Crazier.
So will they be able to get episode 5 on the campaign here?
Yeah. So if you go click on, so this is our cover A, right? So all of our cover A's are all of our single issues that are regular are $10. So you get this book for $10. It's 20 interior pages. It's gonna be 25 pages of story, 3 pages of fun. And nice. That's the interior art team. You scroll down. Igor Texeria is the cover B. You can do it from the middle, because I did it the same way. And that's a cover featuring Electrite and Crimson Payne before his super awesome armor. And then we have our third cover, which is a 1 of 100, and it's only $15. I always never print my variants anyways, but now I'm really making it official.
Right.
Like, hey, this is not reprinted. And then the next thing is all of our tiers. So for $6, you can get digital, and for $10, you get a single issue. And then for $25, you can get everything we had in Project Analysis digital. And
wow.
then for $60, you can get the whole thing. So of physical. So digital 0 to 6 is $25, and you get 200 pages of story and pinups.
Nice.
So you can scroll down a little bit. It matches the digital. Yeah. 200 pages of story. You want all 3 covers, $30. You get $5 off one cover. And then there it is, the catch-up tier. So this is just the Project Analysis books. I do have spin-offs as well. If you scroll down a little bit, it shows all the covers. Yeah, right there. 200 pages of story. So you get volume 1, which collects 0, 1, 2, and 3. It's 120 interior pages. You get episode 4, which is 28 pages. You get Project Analysis, episode 5, which is 28 pages. And then you get episode 6 for 28 pages. And when I first came out with the trade paperbacks before we did the Kickstarter, I was always selling my trades for $50. You go on my website, my trades are $50. Sometimes I do them for $40. But when we did the Kickstarter, we did it for $30. So if you buy the catch-up tier, you're getting the trade and these 3 issues. I've sold 1,000 of these for $50 a piece. Different cover gloss-wise, but like and now you're getting for $10 more, you're getting everything we had because we're trying to stack up the diehards because the more people that buy this book, the more books you're making. We're here for the long run.
Right.
You have exclusives, but what you have and what people had previously are not the same thing in a sense of like, we had the logo change. We might do a gloss versus a matte finish. So yeah, we're really building them up. And then once we sell the whatever,
that's a hell of a deal.
These trades, I'm doing a new cover and then they'll say 30 on the back. So like you're getting exclusive stuff. Like I drop a lot of exclusive stuff throughout my backers.
That's awesome, man. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's what crowdfunding campaigns should be. It's for the the premium version of stuff, and then this like what Brian Polito does. I feel like we talked about Brian Polito and Lady Death last time. But he'll do the prestige format, like the premium paper and all that, and the all together in the story, and then he'll split it in half, and then he'll put both those issues into comic shops, or at least he did up until Diamond imploded on themselves. So we'll see.
So I do the variants. I only reprint of one of each issue of like whatever cover sells the best in conventions. So
right.
If the cover B is selling, the cover B is my main cover forever. I haven't even printed a cover A of that book because it's not worth.
Really?
Yeah, because then it's not worth printing more for me in a sense. Like, why would I print 1,000 of each cover or 3,000 of each cover if that one can sell 100 at a convention and that one sells 10 if they're side by side?
Yeah, if there's that much of a discrepancy between the two, I can understand.
Yeah, like certain things I have the variants for, but it just matters. Like I only wanted the newest issue. You only have so much eye space. You only have so much. If I tell you, here's 4 covers for this, and here's 4 covers for this, and here's 4 covers for this, you already left my fucking table. So like it has to be, what is this? Move on.
Paralysis of choice.
Yeah, and if you want an exclusive, like I've done a New York Comic-Con exclusive, I've done San Diego Comic-Con exclusives.
Yep.
We did a Steamboat Willie exclusive for one of the covers. That they'll be like 100 and done, and that's it. Like know, and I do that. And we've been building those up. I've done $20 covers. We've done a bunch of different stuff. But I only print.
What's up,
also
Screaming
what's
Raven?
my favorite too.
Welcome.
That usually works out. And then like the lower print stuff, they're just the regular price. But yeah, you get a lot of stuff. You get the bang for your buck here because all my single issues are always 10. I would never charge more for my single issue that I would sell in a convention. So 10 is 10. But your guys are the first ones to order it. And you're getting a great book and you're supporting a guy that fucking dies for this shit. This
is your life. You live and breathe it, man. And again, this is a hell of a catch-up tier right here. This is awesome. This is a hell of a deal, especially considering that first trade is usually $50, and you get the other issues on top of it.
And then 276 pages is the next tier. You get the both cover A and cover B. You scroll down a little bit more, you see the image. And then you get
okay, wow.
Yeah. So you get cover A, cover B, and then you get episode 5 for the trade. We have a one-shot that's just on our supervillain called Crimson Payne one-shot, and then we have 2 prequel books with the same characters. So you get everything we've ever had, 7 singles in one trade, 276 pages of story for $100. So you get the variant, you get that. You can add things on too. And then we have a customized character splash page. If you scroll down a little bit, that was one of them that we did. So like you pay for that. We design a character together. Of course, it's going to be under my company. I copyrighted all that stuff. But we make it together. We make something cool. They're in a splash page, and they will make a cameo again, especially if I really like the design. Because like I said, I'm building up to something crazy, and I need a lot of extra flesh. So we're gonna have a lot of cool characters. So people with episode 2 with us, you'll eventually see those characters in a cameo somewhere, or they're gonna be in this massive thing that I'm building up to.
You heard it here. If you are interested in becoming a part of the history and the lore of this book, you can do it with a splash
look
page.
How cool that guy is. One girl,
right? I mean, he's looking pretty badass right there, I gotta say.
Yeah, one guy has a different type of speed because we have a speed force, and he's the only speedster. But of course, you want a customized character. You want him speed. Boom, there he is. Maybe he'll be a different type of power when I debut him. But what we make is what we make. At least for the splash page.
Right.
But that looks sick. And then I have the main 2 characters from the issue fighting in the background. And that was a double page splash. We only had 2 people do it. But $200. There's 3 slots. You're gonna be in the book in an awesome page because otherwise it wouldn't be in the book.
Right. I mean, everything that doesn't add to the story or the comic book detracts from it, right?
Yeah, when people see that, they're like, wow. Some people actually thought it was part of the story, that it was at the end, and maybe they thought it was like the guest characters coming next. But I left it blank. Sometimes I go, thank you, Kickstarter. I'm done with that, putting thank you, Kickstarter. I'd rather just have the art. Like, just have the art. It looks cool. And then when I reprint it, 5 years from now, it's not like, oh, like, thank you, Kickstarter. Like, bro, I got this at New Jersey. Like,
right. I got this at a convention. What?
Yeah. What do you mean, thank you, Kickstarter?
What the hell's a Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Rick Saylor says being proactive is a must in the modern indie scene. Rick also says that he loves your motivation, man. He says 80% of people he talks to in LCSs don't do crowdfunding.
I don't do crowdfunding. I backed like 9 books. I got 8 of them. But I like seeing these guys in person too, because it's like, I see it, I know people that do really well in campaigns and they don't do well at conventions. I like getting the books in person, gives them that money right up front for them. And I gotta like it, otherwise I do buy from my local comic store all the time. I pick up Spawn every month. I pick up Absolute Batman every month. And, I trickle in a bunch of other books in between.
Right. I've been checking out some of the Ghost Machine stuff. Rocket Fellers. Yeah, Rocket Fellers has been really good.
I only read the first 2 issues. Geiger I picked up every month. That's the only one I haven't stopped. I got Redcoat till issue 9. Whenever they finished the first arc. Once I got to Appleseed, I stopped, but I'll start picking up again. I've just been so busy.
Right.
But Spawn has always been a consistent. It's $2.99.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I mean, I know when I worked in a comic shop, I know a lot of people were really happy about the fact that all of his books were always just $2.99.
Yeah, and he puts out a bunch. He's a good guy. He was at WonderCon this weekend. The guy's a fucking hustler. Even Jim Lee was signing all day on Saturday. I took a picture of him.
Wow.
Like these guys are grinding. Even in their 60s, they're grinding. If they're in their 50s, I'm sorry. But like they're at the pinnacle. The guy's the publisher of DC, and he's still plushing the flesh, bro.
Hey, man,
sit at home forever.
But I mean, I don't know if it's his choice to be there, or maybe corporate's like, yo, we need you out there looking good, like talking to people, signing stuff. Also, I mean, the new Hush. He doesn't have
to do that, but it boosts the name, and because
it does, it looks good.
Saturday, it probably put at least another 10,000 people through that door on Saturday for those 2 just being there.
Right.
Minimum, So like, I'm impressed. I like the greats that came before me, but time for the young stallion to make his way come through, Join me on Kickstarter.
Hey man, like I said, the cream rises to the top. You just got to keep doing the thing.
That's the thing. I've already been 4 years doing conventions. I already see the people that have come and go already, and there's more that are coming. There's more that are going, and you just got to be consistent. That's like a main thing too. Like if you're not consistent, if you can't be consistent to yourself, how do you expect customers to be consistent?
Yeah,
Gem.
Right.
Someone wrote a question.
Yeah, Screaming Raven says, maybe it's just me, but I feel comic shops can and should do more for the independent comics and their creators. I agree, man. Hopefully having them, show up and do in-store signings and stuff like that. It's so much cooler for people to come to a shop and have like an artist or like a publisher there with an artist and a writer or whatnot to do free comic book day. Make it an event. That's what they could do.
So Fortress of Solitude, like I do sell to some of my local stores because I do have guys that come through. So I'll be at Free Comic Book Day for Fortress of Solitude. I bring my new books there. They let me keep all the money that I sell. I sell everything. I help them move books too. Like that's the truth though. It's like if you're not bringing in new people, regardless, like some shops make me take a percentage if they let me do a signing at their thing, which is great. It's your store, go for it. But like we gotta, everyone gotta build this thing together.
Yeah, and you've got to be an active participant in it. It's not a passive thing. You've got to actively, go for it, like you've been doing, man. Like I said, you've been a machine. Just getting this stuff out. But that's the way you have to do it if you're gonna make a living doing this.
Yeah.
It's an everyday hustle. Screaming Raven was just asking, that's the question, are they out there because they want to be or they have to be? Sometimes it's a necessity.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
One, you have to press the flesh.
Yep.
Now, I'll give you an example of, I don't want to say the guy's name, but I watched this dude that I talked to that's a big-time creator make $30,000 in 6 hours at one of these events.
Jesus.
I would do that too. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll give you another example.
I mean, I like conventions, so if somebody wants to give me like $60,000 to do a convention, like, hi, I'm right here. I'll be there and I'll smile. I'll talk to everybody all fucking day.
Jim Lee had a line of more than 1,000 people, and it was a minimum.
I don't fucking doubt it.
It was a minimum of like 140 you had to spend to even be on the line. You know what I mean? So like, just do the math. You know what I mean? Like it's these guys are murdering it, and they bring in business as much as.
Well, yes, people will pay to go to a convention to be able to talk to them.
Jim Lee,
get something signed.
Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Robert Kirkman, all these guys bring in people. That's why when they do come to the events, they are bigger. I'll give you an example. They weren't there last year. That was the slowest WonderCon I ever been to. You know what I mean? So now with just 2 more names there, I sold 80 trade paperbacks. That's a lot. So like of just the trades. And I sold a bunch of other stuff, but it's just like, and then I think it was the most units I sold in the last 2 years, and the only difference was they were there for 2 days. Not even the third. And Sunday was dead. They weren't there. And what was the difference on Sunday? They both weren't there.
Right.
So you got to have the name the same way, when you go to the movie theater, a lot of people go for Robert Downey Jr. A lot of people go for Brad Pitt,
Right.
You got to have that anchor. And then then the guy who's the third guy has his own movie in a couple years, or the fourth guy got his own movie because that other guy brought in the peeps.
Right. Well, I mean, the older, more well-known, well-established brings in the people that know that, and then people discover the new hotness at the convention. I mean, that's the way it's always supposed to be, And I
think, though, that from those guys, at least, excluding the direct-to-consumer guys that are killing it online, doing 200,000 plus campaigns, those are the guys. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there hasn't been anyone that is moving numbers like these guys. Like, in Scott Snyder too, it's like, they're moving 400,000 copies. Like, that's fucking crazy. That's
great, man. I'm actually happy to hear that. And that actually reminds me of a point I wanted to make a little earlier when we were talking about the 90s. Yes, they do talk about selling, like millions of copies. And those were some of the bigger issues. Those were the landmark issues. But I mean, regular issues, monthly issues were selling in the hundreds of thousands like each and every month. I think that's more what people are talking about when they were talking about the lushness of the 90s, because, monthly books were selling in those big numbers. And now, we're lucky to get, 50,000 copies of a popular book to sell. And we're super happy about 400,000 copies of a Batman book. Batman used to sell those numbers all the fucking time back then.
But I know this now. Like Robert Kirkman, he's on 18. Well, it's Daniel Warren Johnson technically, but it's his brand of Transformers. They're doing a consecutive 80,000, and for issue 18,
that's fantastic.
That's solid.
Yeah,
that's solid. And
that's fantastic.
And he has 4 other books. I definitely think yes, it is. Certain things are dying down, but it's just like if you have a fire product, people are coming back.
Yes, I completely agree.
And like for Batman Hush to come back, like that moves people back into the shops. For people,
well, I mean, there's a lot of people that haven't read since Hush.
Marvel Rivals, the big popular game, has over 100 million players. They finally got the books in the comic shop, and it comes with a spray. Imagine they're doing skins. I remember when they did the Fortnite thing with DC, they had lines out the comic shops for like a block at some of these comic shops.
I was working in my local comic shop when those Fortnite DC books came out. And yes, we had people calling ahead to pre-order them. Some people did it, a week ahead of time. Other people were coming in and they were trying to just clean them out. They wanted them all.
And then if the product is good, they would come back in a sense of like, oh, maybe it does give me the extra 20 pages I wish I knew about this character that I'm playing in this video game. That's fucking cool. And I think that's what they should be doing with Marvel Rivals, and hopefully DC does the same. And with Marvel too, like I was just in because WonderCon, this book looks amazing. Thanks so much.
Yep. What's up, Tank Ferret? Good to see you, brother.
Back to support us. But
Pale Rider, what's up, man? Pale Rider says you have to press the flesh and be out there putting the product out there. That's what I tell my streetwalkers. Confirmed, says Pale Rider.
I went to
Disney, it's a hustle.
Downtown Disney, because it was right there in front of the Anaheim Convention Center is right across from California Disney. They're finally, and I posted, they're finally selling comic books in the stores. That should have been a day one of the newest issues.
Man, don't even get me started on the absolute clusterfuck that Marvel now was when the MCU was at the height of its power. Like, want to talk about a missed fucking opportunity? Holy shit. In a hat.
People just go to Disney for exclusives. Imagine you had for every new issue for that month in Disney World was the variant cover foil of that cover. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And can you imagine like the people that are like super hardcore Disney but also super hardcore Marvel? I mean, they'd literally just hook up their life savings to Disney, and just have a monthly charge so they can just go in and take whatever they want.
I bought it. It's upstairs. They had like the limited edition Funko Pop from the original George Lucas artwork. I bought that shit in 2 seconds. That shit's in my, you know what I mean? And then when I went this year, there was nothing. I was like, what is this? I bought something that wasn't exclusive and just let my daughter open it. But it was just like, you have to have the cool shit,
Yeah.
And
the higher quality that cool shit is, the more people will come back and the more they will tell their friends about it. And then they will bring their friends to come check that cool shit out.
Yeah, I love everything comics, man.
I do too, man.
Absolute shit, for sure. But there's some fire.
Take it easy, Tank. Thanks for stopping by, man. So here's the thing. I feel like the distinct drop in quality of comics over the last decade plus has been because a lot of people just kind of pick up the books on a regular basis and they don't really read them. They're just picking them up because they're a collector and they've been picking them up. I heard this time and time again from the people that I was selling books to at the comic shop. Oh, I see you get this every month. How is the book? Is it worth picking up? Oh, I don't know. I guess it's okay. I mean, I just have them all, so I just keep getting them. And it's just like, that's a terrible reason to keep getting books. Like, read the books, know the stories, talk about how good the stories are. And, that's why the book gets to get going. Not terrible, horrible stories that nobody reads. So they just keep printing them. You know, what do you think? Do you think that's a thing?
So I know a lot of people that just get the books, but like if you don't, like, you have to think like any book is a book of entry, and if that one book doesn't loop them, yes, people will just collect it from a number one on, and then B, it's like if you don't understand it, it's not going to work. Like I've tried picking up books that have the halfway point, and it's just like makes no sense to me, and it just makes me not want to buy it. I sometimes even at the local comic shop, I'm like, okay, this looks cool. Let me look through. I'm like 10 pages in. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then just close it and then move on. Like the cover can't be fantastic. Like my cover, I think I have splash pages that are better than my covers, you know? So like, it's just, oh yeah, go to pages from the last issue spoiler.
Let's see. Scrolling. Yeah, got all kinds of cool shit on this campaign, man. That's pretty cool. And these are the spin-offs and stuff you were talking about earlier, the one shots, the Omega books.
Madness. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I love the homage covers as well. You know,
so that was our cover B, and it sells the most. And Rob's even posted.
I don't doubt it.
Corey Hampshire inks a lot of his work and has. He's done Deadpool, all that stuff. He did issue 0.
Corey's great.
And he does a lot of variant covers. He did both those covers for me. And
this one's really fucking cool too.
Yeah, 50 all day. People buy that. And then but my homage covers matter. Those the characters in the blue are the characters that Crimson Payne brutally murders, and then the new characters are my new superheroes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Out with the old, in with the new vibe.
Right.
And then
playing into
the homage New Mutants, Crimson Payne's hunting those guys in those books. You know, so it's it needs to flow, you know?
Right. Well, no, it totally makes sense. I mean, the covers used to tell the story of or at least a portion of the story that was happening within the issue. And you're doing that with your variant covers and an homage. I like the idea, man. I think it's cool. It works with your stories. Yeah, I think there should be more thought put into covers, I guess is what that really boils down to. I feel like there should be more thought put into covers and how they connect to the story instead of this is just a cool image on a cover, you know.
Yeah, that's the main villain in Volume 1, you know. So it's like everything needs to make sense. Trading cards, all that cool shit.
Nice.
T-shirt.
Now you had the trading cards on the last campaign too, right? Or is this a new edition?
I have thousands of them. So like, if you want to add it on, add it, grab it. And we want to make more. So like my stretch goal starts at 10K. Like if we hit 10K, that's really when I'm really profiting. That's why I'll start doing the stretch goals. I used to do them at like 2K like an idiot. And then, now I learn. And then, because once again, business, creating's cool, but business is also cool. You know, I need to be.
Well, I mean, being able to bring in some capital so you can keep doing that thing, the creating, that's also very helpful. You know, being able to sustain yourself while you're creating, you know.
Yeah, I have to. And so at 10K, we start doing more trading cards exactly like that. So if we hit 10K, we're rolling with it. And then scroll down a little more. Yeah. So these are pages from the last book. This is on around like page 12 or 14. That's a double page spread. These are our main heroes about to fight our villain for the first time ever. And after I show you all these pages, there's still 8 more pages of story from this issue. And this is exactly what you get in Project Now's book. There was 4 other major fight scenes just in this book. But yeah, keep going. Yeah, we see Crimson Payne fighting Thorn and Omega. They're fighting in the sky. They crash into the water, and they have no time to adjust. And Crimson Payne starts whooping that ass, dude, because he's a super enhanced speedster against 2 guys who always got their way as heroes, and now they're going to suffer the consequences of Crimson Payne. And check that double page spread at the end. Look at that. Oh, blasting him halfway to hell, as Harvey Dent would say. And
damn.
And there's 8 more pages after that, and 2 more splash pages. So
if you like violent superhero stories, this one's for you guys.
Yeah, you John Wick guy, you a Mortal Kombat guy. Think of that. But we also got a good story in there. So.
Heck yeah. And here you are, community. See, and this is important. Being it shows. Look at this. Look at this spread. Doing it right, man. Got all the books out there.
Yeah, and that's not even all of them. We have a lot. And
right.
Yeah, Gary V, Tom McFarlane. I work with Enzo now on a new book.
Nice.
You know, we have Danhausen. You know, we have a lot of people grabbing the stuff, and I'm motivated by a lot of people, and I shout them out. I even shout them out today. I said, you know, Rob Liefeld, Robert Kirkman, Mark Miller, Scott Snyder, Todd. I was like, I'm making comics inspired from you guys. You know, like you gotta. That's the other thing too. You know, a lot of people love talking that smack, but at the same time, we also gotta praise. There should be no reason why Val Kilmer is only trending because he's dead, and that's the saddest thing ever.
I agree,
like,
man.
It should be, I thank you now. You know what I mean? And,
appreciate people while they're alive.
Yeah, I'm born from the New 52, and then I'm born from reading Frank Miller in, you know, 90s after I was born from the New 52.
Right.
But New 52 is really what got me in to buying monthly comic books. And a lot of those guys, you know, are Jeff Johns and all these guys now that are big pimping. And, you know, we're coming, dude. You know, I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping this blows up. We need to get the 5K to make this our biggest campaign ever. And then, you know, Marvel DC, come hire your boy.
Well, there you go. See, I mean, and you putting in the work, man, showing that you can obviously handle it. And seems like the big two could use some help. They could use a creative shot in the arm, as it were.
I think DC's murdering it right now, though. I feel like those absolute books.
I mean, the absolute books. I mean, they don't do anything for me. But you know, I've never been much of a DC guy to begin with, so
I love Absolute Batman. I grabbed the other number ones. I didn't read Flash yet. I have it upstairs. I'm still grabbing Green Lantern, but I loved. Like I said, I'm born from New 52. I loved Scott Snyder and New 52 Batman.
Derek?
I want that vibe, and I like what they're doing. I think you have to take big swings. Comics are meant to be fun and not giving a fuck and having a lot of fun while doing it, and we need more of that. You know, I feel like that's why Battle Beast is going to be a hit. It's like, oh, you want Invincible back? No, you're getting Battle Beast, and he's going to just murder people every book. You know, so it's just like we gotta have some fun. And if it's not fun, people are not going to buy it because then you can go on YouTube, you can go on TikTok, you can go, you know, go do anything else.
Oh yeah.
So like,
this entire world competes for your attention these days. You know, video games are so engrossing that becomes you know, people's entire identity.
Video game. My monthly comic book would be attached to that video game every month. It's like it's just little things like that. Like I wish I was in that Marvel department being like, dude, we need 7 Marvel Rivals books, one shots with skins available. You're gonna sell.
Oh yeah, get exclusive skins for that game. Fuck, man.
Just even a different color. Just like he's blue now, and this one's green now. You know,
right?
Like, and you're getting the sale. You have Fire Art in the middle. You're chilling, dude. You're chilling. But you know, who am I? I'm just the young buck on the block. You know, so
yeah. I mean, sometimes listen. Sometimes it takes fresh eyes to look at something to point out a hole in the old paradigm. You know, and you know, having a reverence for the original material. I believe a lot of the problems stem from not having a reverence for older material, source material, and you know, thinking that they know better than the people that created it, that built it. So I think the way forward is to acknowledge the past, build on what made that work, and have a reverence for it, and then tell new fun stories with it. I mean, look at the most popular fucking nerds that have made you know, a big splash in this scene. The guys that you just mentioned, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Robert Kirkman. These guys fucking love comics. You know, they grew up reading this stuff. The reason why Image was such a huge boom is because these guys were putting everything that they wanted to see in comics into comics. You know, fans of comics making comics, but they're, you know, they're not half-assing it. It's professional. So I believe there needs to be more of that. More professional fans in comics, and I mean fans of comics that are professionals, not professional fans like influencers and shit like that. I mean, they have their place as well, but that's not what I'm talking about, you know. more people that love comics making comics. That's what I want to see, and I believe that's what we're moving towards, man. I really do feel like this indie scene is just beginning to build up, and I really think that we're on the verge of another indie boom. To be quite honest, the ability to make quality product and get it into the hands of consumers is unprecedented from anything that we've been able to do in the previous decades. So, we've got all these tools. We just have to use them and get the word out there to people, because people are always hungry for entertainment. And if the power goes out, you can't play video games. Your battery only lasts for so long. You can always read a comic as long as you got a candle. Just saying. I'm just saying.
I have a lot of comic books to last me a little bit.
Right? Same. God.
Unless you're mid 17-hour drive when the apocalypse happens.
Right?
Then what do you got? Now you're bringing a box. Now you're going to bring an extra box just in case. You could
right? I'm thinking about it.
You're like, let me just bring a couple trades.
Right. I just have a stash of books with me that, I want to take with me. See, that's really the only reason why I love digital so much, is because you can take an entire collection with you on a tablet, and you can read it. Huh?
But the
power's out, so you're fucked.
Yeah.
You got nothing. I mean, listen, my favorite way to read books is audiobooks. So if the power goes out, my battery's dead, I'm fucked. I can't get my books in.
Yeah, I can read. I tried really hard to read a lot of books last year. I think I got like 9 done. But like you could easily bomb a pod or like an audio book anywhere. So it's just like it's and that's also what we're competing with.
Yes.
It's just attention.
Yep.
And I feel like I have 100 strong online right now of warriors.
What's up, Will?
And, as soon as we're at that 500 to 1,000 mark, it's like I'm gonna get there. Mark this. I'll be on for episode 20. Then we'll be like, remember when I said that? Because I'm not stopping. We're definitely going to episode 35. Like, I'm not cutting story out. It kept growing, and I have more villains and different things to do. But it only will grow the story. So we're going 35 issues. With or without permission. So,
see, that was actually my next question. So you've got this mapped out to 35 episodes, huh?
35 episodes, and we still have to finish the other miniseries that has 2 issues. But I took that team and put them on episode 2, and they've been doing the main series ever since. It does have a beginning, middle, and end, those 2 issues with a cliffhanger that leads to these monster zombies that we haven't touched or you've never seen. So it's going to be its own little thing. But I'll do that, and then we have other one shots. Like, I have another one shot that's going to come out. Like, I'll trickle in one shots on top of the main story, but I feel like it's just going to be main story after we finish that mini series, and then one shots. It's just something you could pick up, read, and say, "Oh, cool," I know about this.
And but it adds to the overall world that you've created.
Yeah, like I have 2 characters that were introduced in episode 4 and 5 that were these street level heroes that just came out. Because they're motivated by these new heroes rising and they have powers, and they don't kill people. And I'm doing a different style that looks a little more cartoony, and I have a 28-page book just sitting in my Google Drive for the past 6 months, and I'm just waiting. After I wanted to do this episode of Project Analysis before I released it, because I feel like this is what you wanted, and then let's get some other things in while we're building our shit back up.
Right. You got to have some variety. Got to try different things, especially as a publisher. You want to have a variety of things that people know you for. Absolutely.
Yeah, just different swings. Like it's totally different art, and he draws more like Disney old cartoons, and Batman anime series ish. So it's just different. There's still someone gets their head blasted off, of course, but
I mean, it's one of your books, of course, man.
Yeah. Or I think it's a heart shot. Yeah, he does a heart shot through his body, and I'll show that in there. But
a little more comics code friendly, maybe.
Yeah, and it's not like from Project Analysis. It's always going to be this style of art. Like I've had Corey Hampshire do episode 0, Kyle Penshock do episode 1, Julie Shaw do episode 1, and now we've been with Samuel Marquise and Prasad Rao for the last 5 issues.
They do great work,
I always
man.
want to keep that same vibe of like it looks animated or looks like it could be like a awesome fucking toy line,
of
characters.
Okay, so that I have two questions that are competing for attention in my head. You said animated as series and toy line. Like, would you ever do this as an animated series? Like once the story is all done, kind of like Kirkman has done with
I think
Invincible?
the only way to do this is animated. Otherwise, it only could be comic books. Because I don't have $100 million. So,
right.
So like that's the truth. Unless technology changes, which it could, but like a lot of this is insane. It's
right.
not, it's like the main scene of the movie and twice an issue. So it's like I would love to though. If I had, once I have the capital, I definitely would do like a 15-20 minute animated test run.
Mm-hmm.
But that runs like 20 grand.
Oh yeah, I mean animation is super expensive. But
yeah. I would love to do that, and I'd really love the next journey I would like to take Project Analysis while the comic book is growing is the trading cards, and I feel like trading cards.
I think that's a good idea.
It fits the same market in the sense of like if we can hit these goals and we hit enough stretch goals eventually, then we can go into like because they do have stats on it. They have like attack, defense, and rank.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it's one of the things I loved about the old cards. I still have several binders of them. I love the stats. I learned about a lot of characters that I would never have known of otherwise.
Yeah, the front of the card would really be for like a sense of like an actual Yu-Gi-Oh game, and then like everything else would be, the back would be just an extra little nug, of some fun facts.
Yeah. Did you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Like 4 cards, trap cards, and then just have some fun with your boys or girls. And then,
right.
But I want it because that's more attainable, in my opinion. It's not, I don't have to spend $100,000. I could spend, 10 grand all in. It's the same as a comic book, but I'd rather invest all my money into the comic book. I don't want to steer away. Like I'm going to get back into merch this year because I have a lot of corner tables and stuff, but like, I haven't in a while. But like it's just like because I don't want to invest really anything but my book. I put everything right back into the book.
I mean that's understandable. And I saw in the campaign here you got a shirt, right? It's a drop-in shirt.
We have a shirt. 2 people bought it, $50. You get an awesome shirt. We're probably only printing 100 with at least the black on that.
Right.
So I might do less. It just depends how many we sell and how many I feel like printing.
I mean sometimes merch is a crapshoot.
But you want some merch? What up?
Right? There you go. But I mean, I personally like merch. I love merch. I love being able to get merch for my favorite indie comics. And usually when I see one on a campaign, I've got to get the shirt. Just because you never know if you're going to be able to get that shirt anywhere else. Again, it's the FOMO, it's the collector's mentality. It all comes together when it comes to these crowdfunding campaigns. But dude, this looks fucking amazing. The campaigns always look really good. They're concise. They get to the point, and they show off the artwork. They show off the book. The book looks fantastic. I am super hype that you're still doing your thing, man. I'd love to see indie comic success stories because that means that there's a market out there of people that are hungry for good comics, that are hungry for independent stories. It doesn't just have to be the big two. It's encouraging. It means there are people that are looking for something actively, and that means that there can be a healthy, thriving comic industry, even if it is, indies. The indies always move the industry forward, in my opinion. Always. When the mainstream kind of gets all sluggish, the indies pick up the slack and they innovate, they do new shit, and then the mainstream is like, oh, that works, and then they adopt it, and then. It works for a little while, and then they get sluggish again, and then innovation.
I hope they just want to adopt me. I'm homeless.
Adopt me. I am homeless. I require the finances.
Adopt me, please. I'm starting to write it now too. I'm starting to even when I message people, I'm like, I was featured in Forbes twice this year. Please hire me. I've gotten some gigs now. I'm doing a lot of indie writing gigs. I wrote for a movie company and for one of their projects, and then like really try to build everything out. And the only way, and this is the truth, I don't know people that have done it anyways, without conventions, you're not getting work outside of your own thing. So
oh yeah,
so like all of my jobs I've gotten is because of conventions. If they're
talking to people face to face, man.
I just got paid to do some stuff. It's only because I was at the conventions, not because I'm online. And the only people that are looking at online to hire are people that are hitting 100K or more minimum. So that's my opinion.
Yeah. People are paying attention to it, but yeah, conventions, talking to people in person, it is a lot. I mean, it's how human interaction has been for time out of mind. It's how we communicate, talking face to face, and you can get an impression of somebody face to face that you can't get talking online. Again, real human contact, looking somebody in the eye, being able to shake their hand. There's something different about it than just being able to talk like this. Yes, we can communicate, but there is nonverbal communication that goes on, and that's how deals have been made for, since humans were, exchanging goods, So I get it, man. I get it. And that's, I think that's the way forward for everybody, more actual communication and creating things. But this is fantastic, man. Is there anything else? We've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes. Time kind of just flew by. Is there anything else you want to say about episode 6 before we wrap this up? Oh, wait, I did have one more question. As a publisher, are you ever going to publish anybody else's stuff but your own, or do you just want to focus on doing your own thing?
It matters the deal.
Right.
So
if you see something that you really think, damn, I think that would sell, you'd be willing to publish it.
Yeah, like they would need me though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm doing work for hire stuff right now, and I give them all the rights, even though I'm fleshing. I flesh out a lot of the ideas just because like I feel it. Have your thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But which I have talked about, if my artists ever want to make something and they don't know how to distribute it and do all that, I'm down to do that. Long as it's good. And, but as of now, Visual Vibration is my home for me and amazing artists, for me to showcase my skills on how I do everything from start to finish. And I would have to have a start to finish on those books, at least now, and where I'm at with my company, because I don't need to sell someone else's book. I get offered all the time. Like, oh, sell my book, because they just see how much I sell at a convention.
Right.
And it's like, but like, why would I do that if I have to? I could just sell mine for the same effort.
Exactly. Like, why would I put in the extra effort to sell somebody else's book? Okay. See, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to ask, is because, I figured that you had people come up and ask you, because everybody's looking to get their stuff published out there,
Yeah. But like, it would, like, if I have to take away from my table of my stuff, I don't see it happening. The only thing I would remove from my table would be when I work for a bigger publisher and I can put my stuff next to my stuff, like it's because, and that's with conventions, like every convention would be, like they're looking at the table to see you. They're not looking at the table to see someone else.
Right.
So that's really where I'm at with it. I'm really there to just showcase.
That absolutely makes sense. Yes.
And be the best I could be, because I write and edit it. Like everyone will tell you get an editor. Why would I pay someone to be an editor when I want to be an editor? You know what I mean? So like you gotta showcase the work.
Absolutely. I think the thought process behind always hire an editor is that most people don't have the ability to be as harsh on their own work as somebody who's not connected to it. You know what I mean? Like, not this isn't their baby, so they're willing to slash and cut things that the creator might not be willing to let go of. They'll kill the darlings that the creator won't kill. You know what I mean? So
that's why my artist was like, I don't want to tell you my favorite character because you're just gonna want to kill him in the next book.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I imagine I would probably do the same thing. This sounds like a dangerous ploy to get attached to any of your characters, man.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, the favorite character was the guy that got his half his face blown off. Was his we find out.
Oh, that must have been hell for him to draw.
Yeah, he said he was upset because he reads it when I give him the script. He doesn't. He only needs to know 2 things towards the end because that's just to keep the motivation set.
Right.
Excluding that, he's along for the ride.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, that's because your artist, I think I said this the last time, because your artist is so entertained, that is going to come through in the artwork. When the artist is entertained and having fun, that translates to the page. You know, comics are a unique alchemy of story and artwork, but they're also the people that make them. And if the people that make them are having fun, then you get a fucking awesome comic book. Then that fun is going to transmute over to other people. You know, it's a weird form of telepathy, this storytelling, you know, with books and comics and stuff like that. So, you know, I love hearing that, man. It's like I said, that's going to translate to the book. And obviously, I mean, looking at these pages, you guys can see that the artist is clearly having fun. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. This has been a blast, man. Thank you for coming to hang out, Paul. Always good to see you, man. And keep fucking fighting the fight, man. Doing it right, man. Showing us how it's done. You know, keep pressing the flesh, going to them conventions.
$6 digital, $10 physical. Pledge. You're supporting a hustler who's gonna do conventions nonstop and Kickstarters nonstop until you give me the right to sell you a book.
See, there you go. Can't stop, won't stop. Go ahead and click that link so you can go get yourself a copy of it. Thanks, Tokame. I appreciate you being here. He says really impressive work. Yes, indeed. Chat, you guys are amazing. And remember,
shop smart, shop S-Mart.